Hello Cobra Kai fans, welcome back to the channel. So the Netflix To-Do site has posted some new character previews for Cobra Kai Season 4. This includes a lot of the main characters and we're going to read the descriptions for each one that they posted. So the first one we're going to start off with Ralph Macchio. So Daniel LaRusso. Having made peace with Johnny, Daniel teams up with his former rival to train their students in two styles of karate for an upcoming tournament. The only problem? The common goal of defeating Cobra Kai doesn't stop Daniel and Johnny from butting heads. Now this is something I have really been thinking about, but I don't think it's all going to be great between Johnny and Daniel whilst in the team. I think the styles will clash, because let's be honest, they haven't really planned out how they're going to do things. They've just simply gone, let's work together and let's try and stop Cobra Kai. But they need a formula, they need a strategy to form their styles together so both of their students can understand that it's a mixture that they need to have to beat Cobra Kai. Robbie is now going to be teaching the Cobras, and that Johnny and Daniel make sure that both of their students know offense as well as defense. So it sounds like that this character description is saying that Johnny and Daniel may fall out at some point during the season, and it probably will happen. And in the trailer we did see they were wearing separate gi, so of course they have to go within their separate dojos. Maybe that's why they didn't end up forming one dojo or even joining each other's dojo. Now Johnny Lawrence. Struggling to earn Daniel's respect, Johnny searches for a way to establish his aggressive style of karate as legitimate. Meanwhile, he's still sorting out his personal struggles, his history of dysfunctional relationship. Sounds like he's really trying to solve the relationship that he's had with Robbie. Maybe at some point he tries to actually do something to help him, even though he hasn't really been the greatest father around. Although at the moment the All Valley tournament is very important, and I think that the fact that he's struggling to earn Daniel's respect means that Johnny has really tried to show him that his style of karate is so important. It's not all about defense, you have to go on offense too. And I think he's trying to break this easier to Daniel in the way he can. Perhaps through his students as well could help him, but I really think that he will try everything possible to try and change Daniel's mindset on the way he feels about his style of karate. It is very aggressive, but there's a reason for that. He's not a Cobra Kai anymore, and his style of karate is not a Cobra Kai's, because he says sometimes it's good to show mercy. But of course to Daniel, it's still very similar to Cobra Kai, and I think that's probably why him and Daniel can't fully agree on things with their styles of karate. Miguel Diaz. As Johnny's favourite pupil, Miguel is caught in the middle of his sensei's long-standing rivalry with Daniel. As Miguel grows closer to Daniel, his relationship with his second sensei's daughter, Samantha, faces its own challenges. It's quite interesting. Now, I think the fact that Miguel is also learning from another sensei, another form of karate, is going to really change the way he feels about karate as a whole. He's still growing up, he's learned a lot from Johnny, but of course Daniel will have an influence on him in some respects. Apart from karate, it could be some other things as well. Apart from karate, there's other aspects of life that Daniel could influence Miguel. Think about how Miyagi influenced Daniel. That kind of influence is what Daniel will have on Miguel during next season. I do feel like his relationship with Sam will be strengthened as he grows closer to Daniel as well, and to make sure that things don't happen between them two. I do feel that Sam and Miguel will stay together. I don't think Sam and Miguel will break up at all now. I think they will work things out, but I do feel like they need to take it slower because of recent history. I'm curious how Johnny will feel about Miguel learning more from Daniel, because Johnny really cares about Miguel, and remember, he promised to Carmen that nothing will happen to him, and he always will look out for him no matter if he's learning from Daniel or whoever else. So I think this is going to be a big season for Miguel, although I feel like season 3 was his main season, but this is more so how is he going to rebound from what happened after his injury. That will be determined. John Kris. With his rivals teaming up, Kris seeks out his old army friend Terry Silver to help Cobra Kai prepare for the All Valley Karate Tournament. As hostilities continue to flare between the rival dojos, Kris plays the angles to get into his opponent's heads. Now, of course, we know that Kris has gone and spoken to Terry by calling him, and then he ends up seeing him, visits him. Somehow I feel that Terry doesn't actually visit him, because Kris has to go and see him, and Terry even says, "What do you want?" in that sneak peek footage. I will be talking about that footage at some point. So I think the fact that he's so focused on the karate tournament, he's really not even thinking about things that have happened in the past. I think he just wants to get Terry on board and make sure that Cobra Kai wins at all costs. He does trust Terry with his life, and he'll never forget the time he had with him during Vietnam, that they both had to go through such traumatic experiences during that war. But the history between those two does not look all good, because in the last 35 years, where has Kris been? Why hasn't Terry been around? These guys obviously haven't really been around each other, which is why I want to find out what happened. Or it could be that simply Terry moved on and found out that what he was doing was very wrong, and Kris seems like he's recruiting Terry as he did to him in Karate Kid 3. Now it sounds like it's very the opposite now, and Kris is taking up that role rather than Silver. But he's going to have a big season because I feel that Cobra Kai will win the All Valley with Silver and Kris. I mean, it feels inevitable as well. Samantha LaRusso. After training with Johnny, Samantha feels newly liberated from the restrictions of her father's karate style and his parenting, able to let go of an old grudge against former high school classmate Tori, and clashes with her parents and her boyfriend Miguel. Now I think the fact that Sam is learning from Johnny would mean she might learn how to be more on offense rather than just defensive. Remember, Miyagi-Do's a very reactive style. It will go based on offense and it will defend any moves, and it's always about defending yourself rather than offending. Now, I think it's very important that the fact that Sam learns his style means that she's going to learn a lot from Johnny and understand perspective. It's not Cobra Kai karate anymore, but the principles are very similar. And Sam realizes that she needs to be more on offense if she wants to defend herself. Because in the past, she can see that Tori has overpowered her, but in the end, she did win, but she took the offense. I think it's important that Johnny has an influence on her because they haven't really interacted ever since season 1. Episode 1 and during the season 2 finale when she was round with Robbie, but they haven't really interacted other than that. I still feel that no matter what, beef between her and Tori is going to go on, and it sounds like she's going to have more of an issue with Tori this time round. Of course the rivalry will still be there, but I actually think they're going to redeem Tori this season. And more so, I think it could be that Sam is being more of a problem this time than Tori. I won't be surprised, and the fact she's clashing with her parents is quite interesting. I think the grudge that she's not letting go of Tori is affecting the relationship she has with her parents, Daniel and Amanda, and even Miguel. So I think it's possible. Could one of the parents try and reach out to Tori? Is that the case? Maybe they didn't act on it enough, or Sam is annoyed because Sam feels like in her mind that Tori is the person that she sees right now, but maybe the parents know this but don't act on it enough. However, I do feel like the problem is with her grudge on Tori, that would affect the relationship she has with Miguel, because Miguel is trying to move forward, and if Sam doesn't move forward, it's going to affect everything. Robbie Keane. Having cut ties with his absentee father Johnny and former sensei Daniel, Robbie finds support from Kris at the Cobra Kai dojo. Establishing himself as Kris's top student, Robbie learns to lead and to be ruthless. Now, he definitely is leading, because in certain shots in the season 4 trailer, we saw Robbie teaching the Cobras about Miyagi-Do. He does feel like he's become a sensei with all that he's learned from Daniel and now Kris and now Silver, but he is definitely going to run things at some point, I feel, because of the way he can fight and he can handle himself. He clearly is someone that could be a sensei, and I feel like he definitely is fitting to that in the Cobra Kai dojo. But it will be interesting to see what happens between him and Johnny and Daniel in this season, because I don't know if he's fully going to stay with Cobra Kai. Maybe he tries to work out something between Daniel and Johnny, but hopefully he comes to his senses that Cobra Kai would corrupt him if he stays any longer. Amanda LaRusso, still rattled by a recent home invasion and attack on her daughter Samantha by Cobra Kai students, Amanda hopes her husband Daniel could put Kris out of the business and end the threats to her family. At the same time, she takes on more work running the car dealership as Daniel focuses on the dojo. Now, it definitely sounds like the issue with the home invasion is that her problem is going to be with Tori a lot this season. Of course, she's going to think about her family, her daughter Sam, who's been attacked by the Cobras, and her own house got invaded. That's not something you're going to tolerate, of course. And with Amanda being the voice of reason in the show, I feel like she's going to deal with things a little bit differently this season. She will feel that a bit aggressive, although she's normally the most calm-mannered person in the show. But I think she will have to put her foot down a lot more. And perhaps she does take things into her own hands with the whole situation between her daughter and Tori. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tori ends up being approached by Amanda, and Amanda even says, like, you know, stay away from Sam because you don't want to know what I can do to you. She's going to be more of a protective mother than she's ever been. And I think with the fact she's running the dealership as well, things are definitely going to be a lot harder than they are as usual. But Daniel's not going to be focusing on the dealership as much, and he's going to be focused on the dojo, of course, for the All Valley tournament. She knows how important it is, and she will play a big part in that too. Eli Hawk Moskowitz. Now a member of Johnny's Eagle Fang dojo and training alongside Daniel's Miyagi-Do students, Hawk tries to make amends for his past transgressions against them while at Cobra Kai. Meanwhile, he faces retribution from his former comrades. Now, of course, Hawk has made mistakes as he was tormenting the Miyagi-Do's before when he was with Cobra Kai. Of course, he invaded the Miyagi-Do dojo and stole that Medal of Honor of Miyagi's. No matter what, he did redeem himself in season 3 by changing sides. He realizes how important his friendship with Dimitri is, and Miguel, and the others. But he really feels regretful of that, and I feel like he is going to make up for it. I mean, in certain shots of the teasers and trailers, I have seen that he is trying to make up for it. Like the moment he grabs Kenny, I think Kenny tries to actually go for Nate and Bert, and this is where Hawk comes in. I think Hawk is definitely going to have one of the best seasons because I feel like they're building his character arc so well throughout each season, and season 4 is definitely going to be one for him. I feel like the redemption is going to be so full. I hope he does go far in the All Valley because he's a character I definitely can see getting in the final, but of course I still think Miguel and Robbie would be the one. Although Hawk getting to a semi would be amazing, and to see him fight Robbie again and them being probably two of the most skilled fighters in the show is going to be amazing to see. So guys, these are all of the character breakdowns for season 4, the new previews. They are on the website Netflix to Dumb Cobra Kai Cast. I will link it in the description so you can check them out. There's more character profiles and there's load more about, so you can check that out on the website and read all on that too. Please comment down below on what you think about all these character breakdowns for season 4, and don't forget to subscribe right now. Let's hit 20k before season 4 begins. Come on, we are so close. Let's do this. Turn on notifications and I'll see you next time.